we have to first go back to regulating everyone's nervous system. And it is more challenging when they're both there. But I think that there are some things that we can do to help them both start calming down. And I'll even say things like, no, no, hold on. I want to hear both sides. First of all, we're all going to take some deep breaths. We're going to sit on the couch together, one on this side, one on this side. I'm going to put my arm about both of them. I'm going to kiss both of them. I'm going to love both of them, telling them I'm going to hear both sides. First, we're calming down because we can't get anywhere. We can't make any progress until everyone is calm. So I'm always emphasizing that to them of like, I want to hear from you. I want to know what happened. I want to get to the truth. We have to calm down. And then I'll tell them right out. Most likely, you both did something wrong and you both did something right. You both contributed. You both, like I'm always one to make it equal. I know there's rarely ever just one guilty party and one innocent. Everybody has contributed to the issue and I'm going to emphasize that to them. There are probably things you both could have done better to make this situation better and things that you did that made it worse. And then I might especially if I'm worried about how they're going to, if they're going to get hyped up again, if they're talking, I might do some talking for them and say, I imagine you're feeling this way. And I'll let them correct me if I say, I imagine you're feeling angry. And they're like, no, I'm just frustrated. Or, okay, great. You're frustrated because this happened. And then I try to explain it to the other child so they can understand rather than them having it explain it themselves, because then it starts to get escalated again.
Like, yes, this is really cool because they're watching you mediate
Yes.
and they're learning how to
Hmm.
mediate by sitting there with you. Now, obviously, they have to calm down and they have to be calm enough to listen and quiet enough. Like, they can't like start yelling back at the other kid and punching across mom and like duking it out again. They've got to calm down.
And that's when you just go back to the co-regulation techniques again of like, okay, hold on, wait a second. You're getting upset again. Let's take another deep breath. I know you're upset about this. Here's when the validation comes in because validation helps children to calm down. It helps all humans to calm down. When you feel validated for having the emotions that you feel, suddenly you don't feel like some horrible monster or alien from a different planet. You feel like I'm a human. I'm a human being. So validating their feelings is going to take a lot of the fight out of them. And I can tell my children, no, I understand your point of view and I understand your point of view. I would feel that way too. I would feel that way too. I can honestly tell them both that thing because I would feel that way. So when I validate them and say, essentially, you're normal for feeling that way, now they don't feel like I have to fight to prove that there's nothing wrong with me. In a way, psychologically, that's what it comes down to. They're fighting to prove that nothing's wrong with them for feeling that way. And when I tell them straight out, it's like it takes the fight right out of them. So that's definitely one of the things that I include in that. So when they start to get upset, or if they start to get upset again, I'm just like, no, hey, it's okay. Yeah, you feel that way, and that makes sense. You should feel that way. I would too. Here's why they also feel this way. I would feel that way too, and you probably would too. And then they start to understand each other, and then that's when they're like, "Oh, okay." In a car, honestly, and I know that this is not
Cars
always,
are so hard for sibling fights, like temper tantrums.
if
They
possible,
know you're driving. They know you have a seatbelt on. They know you can't jump back there and wring their neck.
if po- I will just pull over. Like I let my children know that I'm not going to tolerate that, and I will just pull over and we'll do nothing else except resolve this. And they'll say, "Oh, I'm going to be late." Okay,
You
you better calm down, take a deep breath, because I'm not going anywhere until this is resolved or until you can interact nicely with each other, at least while we're driving. And then
so
they're like, okay,
in some instances, you have to be willing to be like, "Sorry, we're not going out to
yeah,
dinner. We're
I'm
not going
willing to
grocery shopping."
sacrifice those types of things because I emphasize resolving the conflicts over
Yep.
whatever else is
We
happening.
we always have. I'll tell them, I'm like, "Guys, I guess we'll spend the night in the car because I'm not going home as long as you act like crazies. So either figure this out or I'm just gonna pull over and put back my chair seat and go to sleep." And I mean it. Like they know I
They
mean it.
know,
I
they're
will
like,
follow through. I'm like, "Hold up, are you fighting over that thing?" Because and I've done this before. I'll take something and chuck it out the window. Like, "Oh, you're fighting over that? See ya." And then
gosh.
like, yeah, not worth it. I want to interject one little caveat that this is kind of Greg's style. Maybe it's helpful for some of you. Sometimes they're fighting over stuff that is so stupid that literally does not matter at all. And so again, this is just my approach. I'm going to calm them down. 'Cause I know it's a different approach. I'm gonna in certain instances, I'm gonna calm them down, and I'm not gonna validate their feelings because it's stupid. It's just so absurd. At that point, I'm gonna calm them down because they won't listen. If they're still fired up, they won't listen. I'm gonna bring them down, and then
I know.
Angel, let me.
I'm letting you talk, but I just am letting you know I have something to say in response.
I bring them down, and then usually I try to think of a story or an example,
Paradigm shift.
a paradigm shift, a reality check, a total it's called a juxtaposition. I'm gonna share something that just totally snaps them out of their silliness. And they'll be like, "This is so horrible." And I'll just stop, "Calm down, come here, calm down." They calm down, their breathing. I'll be like, "One time I read about this child who both of their parents died. They literally had to survive on the streets of India." And I tell a true story, and they're like, I'm like, "This little thing you're fighting over, does it actually matter?" "No." "Okay, let's stop. That was silly." And so I'm not going to validate every feeling because some of them are dumb and they need to know, like, they need to be taught adroitly, tactfully be taught, like, when it's really stupid and what things genuinely, truly don't matter. Not all feelings need to be validated. At least that's my perspective.
And I actually agree with you, but I do feel that that is probably more often your role than it is mine. I would say there are times when I have done that as well where I will be like, "Wait a second. Hold on." And I do some sort of contrast or paradigm shift. But I feel for the most part though that's probably something you do more than I do. And that's good. We need to remember that even when we're on the same page as parents, so to say, because Greg and I are on the same page, we're still going to approach it from different ways. And that's fine. That's good because children need different perspectives, different views. That's healthy. So, yes, that's good.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, you're welcome.
I just got validated. Feels so good.
I know.